Hey Metro, I want to introduce to you some old friends of mine, Amanda and Drew Groves. You guys have been around Metro for a long time. Matter of fact, Amanda, you were in my youth group lots and lots of years ago. And you guys have 4 beautiful girls, and you're expecting another, right? You're having a girl, right? Are you guys crazy?
Yes.
Yeah. What are some of the things that have kind of surprised you about parenthood? You know, things that you didn't realize you would enjoy, and things that maybe you realize that you don't enjoy so much.
Part of it is being a dad, especially with all girls, is I guess how loyal they are to their daddy,
yeah.
you know, and how much they can love their daddy. Obviously there's a relationship that has to be developed there, but man, what a great up, you know.
Yeah, huge.
I think the biggest up is how rewarding it is. And also probably the biggest down is how hard it is.
Exhausting, yeah.
It's very taxing and requires a lot of you. And you just forget sometimes how much it's going to require to have that responsibility to impact someone else's life.
When you see them growing and taking their next steps and
sometimes
accomplishing things.
Being humble, but being honest with yourself that you can take credit for some of the things.
Aww. What would you say are some of the hard parts of parenting?
I think growing up, our kids grew up in a different time than when we grew up. And I guess trying to understand that culture and try to be ahead of it a little bit of where they are now and anticipate some of that coming into their lives, you know.
Oh yeah, the stresses and the temptations for our kids is just totally different than when we were kids. What about you, Amanda? What's been harder than you thought?
The way I was raised versus the way we're trying to raise our girls is like night and day. So I started backwards almost.
Yeah.
So I've had to cut myself some slack, but also ask for help and learn.
Yeah. And honestly, I think moms have the biggest job in parenting. I really do. I think they carry the lion's share because for many homes, not every home, but for many homes, dad leaves, at least in your home, dad leaves and goes to work and you're with the kids all day. And it is up to you to essentially keep them safe and to teach them, to grow them and to grow their little souls, right? And mom, way to go. Way to go, mom, you know. So what are some of the things that you've learned along the way?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that not like one child is different than another child. They're not all the same. Like, you know, there's no cookie cutter like child. You can't say like, well, they're gonna be. Well, we have 4 girls, so you know, 5 on the way, but they're all different. Every single one of them is different. Yeah. And so you have to remember that, and like, you know, and we've read up on a lot of like, you know, how they're wired naturally from God and all that stuff, and that makes a big difference to understand who they are and how that can relate to them.
You guys seem pretty purposeful in your parenting. What does that look like for you guys?
I'd say a lot of reading.
I think we try to start with the end in mind, just like with our marriage. We want to, you know, be together forever. So I'm not going to do something that's going to hinder that. So when we're raising our girls, we're trying to find people we want to be around, like, you know, the way they raise their own children, or books that can help us get where we need to go, because in so many ways I have no idea how to get there.
You know, our kids didn't come with some sort of instruction manual like out of the womb. Here you go, and the book to follow, you know.
Right, yeah.
And so, of course, we have the Bible, right?
Absolutely.
And God's Word and the church and all that. So purposefulness is bigger for you guys. What other things do you do?
Prayer is very important. Serving others. Getting out of our comfort zone, being in God's Word as much as we can. And it looks different all the time.
Yeah.
You know, we have a huge range of ages from 12 to like 2 and, you know, infant. So we're reading little baby Bible stories still, and the girls and I are doing like an exegesis on some Old Testament verse that doesn't make sense. Yeah. Because we just want to know who God is more, and I want Him to be real.
Yeah. And you're purposeful in church. I see you guys in church all the time.
Yes.
Is that a big decision that you guys have made?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And we know that association matters, community matters.
Yeah, for sure.
And you have to have that. And if that's something that you really want, like, you got to get around people who believe like you do. And that's very important to us.
He will drag us out of the house in a very loving way.
Way to go,
which
Dad.
I appreciate, because I'm not a super morning person. Some of our girls aren't, and we could just easily stay home and watch a podcast and worship and read the Bible at home. And he's like, "Okay, we're leaving," and I'm like,
"Yeah, we're going now." Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, for all the mistakes that you guys have probably made, you're doing something very, very well. And God has blessed you guys. And thanks for being a good example to a whole bunch of us. Way to go.